It's your boy JG the PT, back with another video for the JGang. If you haven't become a member already, what the fuck are you doing? Hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell, follow me on Snapchat and Instagram. If you're not already, you're fucking up. You need to follow me on Instagram. I post all kinds of dope shit that'll help you make gains faster. You're trying to gain more muscle, you need to be following me on there. I've got a Facebook page too, so check that shit out as well. Now, I got sent in a question by my boy Tyler. I put up something on IG story, asking people what they struggle with the most when they're trying to make gains, and he said it was his forearms and his calves. So if you want to know how to get bigger forearms, bigger calves, keep watching. Alright, so here's the fucking secret, if you will, about trying to get bigger forearms and bigger calves. The truth is, you're going to have to train them differently to pretty much every other muscle group when you're trying to train them for hypertrophy, trying to get bigger muscles, right? The forearms and the calves, they tend to, for the majority of people, consist of more slow twitch fibers than fast twitch fibers. Now, because of this, you have to train them differently. Training that would target fast twitch fibers is different to training that would target the slow twitch fibers. Now, fast twitch fibers have the bigger potential in terms of how much they can increase in terms of their size, which is why when you train every other muscle, like when you train the biceps, when you train your fucking chest, or your back, you train in a way that's going to stimulate and recruit those fast twitch fibers. But with the forearms and the calves, you're going to have to train in a way that's going to recruit more of those slow twitch fibers, because they can increase in size. It's just the fast twitch fibers can increase more than the slow twitch. The slow twitch fibers, they can increase by about, I think at max, 25% of their original size. But so when it comes to training them, you're going to have to do more reps than you normally would. So you might do about the standard sort of hypertrophy rep range. You can grow muscle in all the rep ranges, but that's 6 to 12 reps is usually what provides the most results in terms of hypertrophy. However, for the forearms and calves, you're going to have to go anywhere between sort of 15 to 25, maybe even 30 reps. But you're going to have the same sort of tempo that you would use when you train the rest of your muscles, which would be, you're going to lift, you're going to move the weight, as fast as possible on the concentric phase of the movement. But when you're lowering the weight, so if it was a bench press, right, to compare the movement to a bench press, you would move the weight out fast, hold it for a second, and then you would lower it slowly for a 3-second count. Then you'd move it fast again, and lower it slowly for a 3-second count. You're going to do that same thing with your calf raises and your forearm exercises. You're going to lift the weight quickly, but then you're going to lower it for a 3-second count. So you're still going to use the same tempo, but you're going to do more reps per set. Still going to have the same rest time. You rest for maybe a minute and a half. So you're going to use higher reps but the same tempo. But there are some differences, and the main differences are going to be this. With the forearms, you have sort of 3 main options that you can utilize. You don't want to do them all at the same time. You want to try one out, see if it gets you results. If it doesn't, move on to the next option. If the first one gets you results, keep doing it. The first option is going to be having thicker grips on your normal lifts. So if you're doing deadlifts, maybe pick a thicker bar. Or if you're doing pull-ups, use a thicker bar. Or you can literally buy a product called Fat Grips, which you can put onto barbells and dumbbells, so you have to have a wider grip. It's going to cause hypertrophy because it's working the forearm a lot more than it normally would, especially if you're taking a normal lift like pull-ups, for instance. That's usually that's mainly a back dominant exercise. However, if you've got really big grips, if you've got fat grips on the bar or a really thick bar, your forearms are going to tire out before your back does, and it means you're essentially using the forearms in the exercise more than you'd be using the back. So it'd be like you're doing pull-ups but for your forearms, essentially. You're going to make your forearms the primary muscle used in the exercise, and it will target the forearms in the right kind of way. But if that doesn't work, you have the second option, which is to do forearm specific exercises with a really good tempo for higher reps. What I mean by that is, it's going to be that tempo that we discussed earlier, moving the weight quickly, lowering it slowly, but on forearm specific exercises. So like wrist curls, for instance, or reverse wrist curls, depending on if you're trying to work the flexors or the extensors. But yeah, you could try that out, doing sets of, 15 to maybe 20 reps, maybe 25 or 30. Try out a different rep ranges, see what works. Anywhere between 15 to 30, you could start with 15 reps per set, see how that works out for you. If it's not working, then maybe do 20 reps per set with still really good tempo, and see if that works for you. And the reason I say to do that is because of the higher rep, you will be targeting and recruiting those slow twitch fibers, but you're also going to be tiring them out, which is good, that's what you want. But because you're using a good tempo too, you're still training in a way that's optimal for hypertrophy by focusing really on that eccentric damage to those muscle fibers, or by, what I should say is by using eccentrics to cause muscle damage to the muscle fibers. And the third option is to go heavy on specific exercises. If you look into exercises that arm wrestlers use to strengthen their forearms, those are all great exercises that you can use. But what I will say about that is it's mainly going to develop the strength of the forearms. It might not cause hypertrophy for you, so I'd say that's the last option to go for. Try the other two first, see if they work, and if they don't, then use that option. And when it comes to the calves, the reason it's different for the calves is because the calves are used to carrying around your body weight. When you're walking around, when you're running, your calves are used to doing a lot of contractions. Your calves are used to getting used all the time. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to do those maybe 15 to 30 reps per set, but you're going to have to go very fucking heavy in the weight and still use a good tempo. So for instance, you might use a power rack or a squat rack. You want to set the barbell up so it's close to, if you were to pick it up, you only have to move it an inch or two, and from there you can load it up with heavy weight. And because you only have to move the barbell an inch or two off the rack, because it's such a small range of motion, you can move a heavy amount of weight, and then all you've got to do from there is hold that weight whilst doing calf raises. Now those are the best tips that I know for trying to grow your forearms or grow your calves. I hope this helps. If you've got any more questions, leave them down in the comments below. Follow me on Snapchat and Instagram. Got a Facebook page too, so check that shit out. Peace!